City side. How are you? I am too. So let's move into a space of community, a space of love. From my recent travels, I had no idea that this song would be speaking about all of those. But I get to sing to you about my last month. I send my love over the mountains. I send my love over the sea. I send my love into the heavens, and it returns to me. You can sing along, city side. I send my love over the mountains. I send my love over the sea. I send my love into the heavens, and it returns to me. Let's sing about joy. I send my joy over the mountains. I send my joy over the sea. I send my joy into the heavens, and it returns to me. I send my love. I send my love. I send my love over the mountains. I send my love over the sea. I send my love into the heavens, and it returns to me. One more time, we're going to sing about joy. I send my joy where? Over the mountains. I send my joy over the sea. I send my joy into the heavens, and it returns to me. I send my joy, I send my love, I send my soul, I send my power. So it's been a long time that I've sung this tune, but it's a new year. 2020 is going to be good. We begin again. We begin again to ignite all those things inside of us. And for me, I've always got the music in me. Ain't got no trouble in my life, no foolish dreams that made me cry. I'm never frightened or worried. Why? You know I always get by. All right, hang on for a second. I have no idea how you could just sit down right now. I have never sung this song with people sitting in a chair before, ever. My goodness. I'm like, it's Kiki D, people. Even if it's not me, it's Kiki D. 2, 3, 4. Ain't got no trouble in my life, no foolish dreams that made me cry. I'm never frightened or worried. You know I always get by. Why? Come on. I heat up, I cool down. When something gets in my way, I go around it. Don't let life get me down. I'm gonna take it the way that I found it. Come on, y'all. And I got the music in me. music in me. I got the music in me. Oh, I've got the music in me. Yeah, yes. I said, they say that life is a circle, but that ain't the way that I found it. I'm gonna move in a straight line, keeping my feet firmly on the ground. I heat up, I cool down. I got words in my head, so I say them. Don't let life get me down. Can't you hold up the blues? I'll just scat them. Come on now, say it. I got the music in me. What? I got the music in me. What? I got the music in me. That's right, Maureen. I got the music in me. I got the music in me. I got the music in me. Break it down. I feel funky. I feel good. Gonna tell you city sides in the neighborhood. Gonna fly like a bird on the wing. Hold on to your hat, Danielle. Sing, 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 sing. I heat up, I cool down. I got words in my head, so I say them. Don't let life get me down. Can't you hold on the blues and play them? Sing, city side, what? Go. I got, come on, I got, what? I don't believe you. You better sing, city side. I got the music in me. I got the music in me. Come on. I got the music in me. Sing. I got the music in me. 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 Yes, you do.
Nice to have you back, Tiffany. So good morning, Cityside. I'm Reverend Amy Daniels. I'm the spiritual director here at Cityside. And if you're here for the first time, I especially want to welcome you. We are about practical spirituality that you can use to create the life that you want. We embrace new thought and wisdom paths, and we are affiliated with the Centers for Spiritual Living. But why we are really here is to create a supportive community for everyone to have their own spiritual experience and grow. So Keith is in vigil in the back of the room, so if you wonder what he's doing back there, he's holding a meditative state to help us go deeper in our experience. So now I would like to invite you should have gotten a handout on the way in, and I'd like to invite you to join me in speaking our vision and mission out loud. We envision an empowered community that is living in a world of unconditional love and action. Our mission is to create safe spaces to explore and deepen our faith, grow in spiritual relationship, and connect with our authentic nature. We are a social media friendly church, so we invite everyone to get on Facebook and share our live stream. And if you see someone on the phone, don't give them the eye, but we appreciate people checking in, sharing the post. We do have a lot of people who watch us during the week. It's just a way to get the message out. So our theme this month is Begin Again, and today we have Maureen Muldoon with us speaking on, speaking on this and greater things. And she's going to talk a little bit about how our job is to learn to work with the soil and to not worry about the seeds or the crops. So what I know about Maureen is we're going to have a deep experience, and it's going to be great. So we always do an icebreaker. If you're new, you have to meet someone you don't know, and you need to do the icebreaker with them. So this morning's icebreaker is a really tough one. You have to say, snow or no snow? Do you like what's happening right now, or you not like it? So find someone you don't know and say good morning.
I know you.
Okay, if we can start making our way back to our seats. We're going to move into our reading and meditation and prayer at this moment. My name is Reverend Judy Raniger-Meza. I'm here to offer our reading today. It is from Ernest Holmes, and he speaks about creation. Now, what is the reason for our being? I'm going to tell you what I think. I think it exists for the delight of God. What else can it exist for? Someone will say you are here to get saved. Claptrap, jargon, nonsense, acidity, and confusion. And I'm going to add, it's not here, but poppycock, balderdash. I invite you to include your own word there. The universe exists not for us to save our souls. They are not lost. And I know darn well if I am lost, there isn't anybody in the world that will know where to look for me. Nor has the devil got us. There isn't any devil. There isn't any hell. The universe must exist for the self-expression of God and the delight of God. You and I are born out of God, and we are born out of a divine urge that creates. God is the Spirit seeks. There's a pressure on everything to express life. The dog must bark, the cat must have kittens, the hen must lay eggs, the artist must paint, no matter how terrible it looks. The singer must sing, the dancer must dance. Everything must express life. We are born to create, and we can't help it. Why is that? Because God, the Creator, is in us. So now I invite you to go within, either closing your eyes or have a soft gaze. As we turn to that place within that creative life force, the Creator God that is in each and every one of us. And just as you notice your breath, just follow that to that deeper place of connection. And we will spend the next few minutes in silent meditation. How wonderful it is to know that the breath of God that breathed this world, the universe, into creation, breathes me, breathes you, breathes all of us. This breath of life, this breath of love, this breath of creative force energy, here and everywhere present, is my life, is my breath, is your life, is your breath. And we are one with it. We are connected with it at all times. And simply connecting and staying in that place of connection, our breath, our awareness to the presence of God, to the fullness of God, to the creative force that is God. I simply speak a word of blessing upon our service today, knowing that God is always and everywhere present. And so I speak a word of blessing upon Maureen, knowing that the breath of God breathes her, and it speaks through her, and she has opened herself up to be a channel of divine wisdom. And that each of us in our own way, with an open mind and a receptive heart, receives that message in the way we most need. And I bless our music ministry, knowing that their prayer of music lifts us and brings us into that space of connection to the divine, to the one. And I bless all that came together today to make this space, turn this space into this wonderful place of connection, so that we can have a deep experience of connection to the divine. I bless all those who are in service in any way today. I'm so grateful that Cityside exists, this place of creation, this place of divine energy. And I know that as we grow and as people are attracted to us and come to us, we stay and in this place of connection to God, this place of love, this place of peace, and we bring it forth in our own lives and out into the community, out into the world. I'm so grateful for this, so grateful for this time to be together, to share the love of the Spirit, the love of the One. So just take a moment, invite us all to just feel that presence within us for just a few moments. So with a grateful heart, I simply release these prayers, this prayer into the one law, the one action of God, the creative force energy. I call it all good. I let it be. And together we say, and so it is. Amen.
For the featured song today, this is a very classic standard made famous by Nina Simone. And as I was in meditation just now, I was thinking about the lyrics of this song, and for the first time realized that they're all about nature. I should have known that a long time ago. I've been singing this for years. But I think in my recent journeys, I've had such a beautiful opportunity over the last month to connect with nature in so many ways and see the beauty of it. And I think in those moments of our lives that we are going through something, not only is breath work valuable to us, but I think that moment of breathing in our surroundings and being able to see the beauty of it, whether it be the snow falling down, whether it be a river running free, or a blossom in a tree. Birds flying high, you know how I feel. Sun in the sky, you know how I feel. Breeze drifting on by, you know how I feel. It's a new dawn, It's a new day. It's a new life for me. And I'm feeling good. Hey, fish in the sea, you know how I feel. River running free, I said, you know how I feel. Blossom on a tree, yeah, that's how I feel. And this new dawn, and this new day, I said I've got a new life that's waiting for me. Oh, and I'm feeling good, yes. Oh, said I'm feeling, I know I'm feeling sad, dragging out in the sun. You know what I mean. Butterflies all having fun. I think you know what I mean. Sleep in peace when our day is done. You know what I mean. And this old world and this new world is a bold world for me. Stars, when you shine, you know how you feel. Scent of a pine, oh, you know how you feel. Oh, this freedom, I said this freedom, I know this freedom is mine, and that's how I feel. It's a new dawn, it's a new day, it's a new life, and I'm feeling I hope you're feeling good too.
What the heck, man? The hell? Wow. Did she not just take us to another place that I didn't even know was? Tiffany Monique is in the house, and God is singing through her. God bless us all. God, that was... You know, sometimes when you meet God in form, you just don't have any words. You just go, blah, 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 blah. That's all I got. We're at a new place, you guys. That song was on point. Oh, the whole message so far was on point. We're at a new year, 2020 vision. And so welcome out to Speakeasy. And in this time, did I say Speakeasy? Sorry. I'm going to explain why I said that later in the sermon. City side. It's all one name under God. Do you know what God's favorite nickname is? Love. God's favorite nickname is love, so she doesn't care what you call her. So here we are, 2020. We've got this new whole decade in front of us. And we woke up, and it's kind of dark out, right? I mean, there's some stuff that's going on that's pretty heavy. But the thing is that I know about that is when things get dark, when things get heavy, that's when the stars shine. And you're here to be the stars. You are here to cause a shift in consciousness. Last week, Reverend Amy Daniels was talking about her goals, her desires are to support leadership, spiritually and otherwise. And that's who you are. You know, we don't need any more mega churches if we're not going to have massive leadership. And so all of us are here to be messengers of love, to be ministers of love, to be miracle workers of love, each and every single one of us. That's what you came here for. So that's what A Course in Miracles says to me, but I'm not teaching from A Course in Miracles today, teaching from Science of Mind. Science of Mind, what it does. But before I do that, I wanted to take you into a little bit of my own spiritual journey. Because I once just thought, you know, I'm just a person in a pew, I'm just a person showing up to church to get my own. And I learned that there would be a better way for me to spend my Sunday morning. So when I first started out, I came from Catholicism. And Catholicism was what I did because that's what everybody else did. I didn't know anyone who wasn't a Catholic, you know what I mean? And I was deep into it. I was all about the spirit of Catholicism and its rituals and its sacred ceremonies. And then I started asking questions. That's not really welcomed in that religion. So I had, like you, I mean, you're not here if you're not spiritually curious. I was spiritually curious. I had a lot of questions, and at the same time, I had some trauma. And so the other religion that was well practiced in my community was, aside from Catholicism, was alcoholism. So I jumped over to that. And instead of chasing spirit, I just started chasing spirits of any kind I could get my hands on. And I became the high priestess of the smoky basement church. And if you come from 12-step, you know what I mean by being the high priestess of the smoky church basement. And I don't want to make it sound, exciting or, romantic, because it was not. That's just what it looks like when you hit bottom. So my sponsor gave me a book at the time. All like you, I mean, books have been the touchstones to my next spiritual evolution. There's been so many of them. The Big Blue and Science of Mind and Course in Miracles. But my sponsor gave me a book, and it wasn't the Big Blue, and I took it home with me, and I devoured it in one night, which on itself was pretty much of a miracle because I didn't really read. I had dyslexia, and it wasn't my thing. But I devoured this book in one night, and for the first time in my 19 years, I had felt this experience of having my spiritual thirst quenched. Have you ever had your spiritual thirst quenched, and you're like, wow, that's audacious? The book was Louise Hay, You Can Heal Your Life. We've all read that one, and then we went on to read more and more and more and devoured anything, and there was this new philosophy, this new understanding called metaphysics. They didn't talk about that in the Catholic Church. They didn't know what that was. I had to look these words up. And but I began chasing it like a junkie, as you do when you finally get your thirst quenched. So not too long after that, I found myself at Agape in California under the nose of Reverend Beckwith. If you've ever been in any of his circles, the man blows your mind. And every single Sunday, I felt myself levitated. I was like, wow, I didn't know these things existed. It was like a shedding of all this old unquestioned thoughts, and the new one was being birthed in me. And I loved it there. I showed up every single Sunday, and I got mine, and I left, and I was good to go for the rest of the week. And then not too long after that, we moved from Santa Monica to North Hollywood, and we made a few attempts to come back to Agape. But it was kind of a long drive, and we had kids at that point. And so, I realized that I got to find a new church. But there was a moment that I had that I realized, man, I missed the boat. I was under the nose of this master teacher, and I didn't take any classes. And I didn't say, how can I help out? How can I volunteer? So by the time I got to my new church, was North Hollywood Religious Science, another audacious church, amazing church. The first day I got in there, first Sunday, I signed up for a class. I didn't care what class it was. I was like, I'm taking a class, making an amends to my spiritual self, and I'm going to say, how can I serve? And I started helping out with the youth and family program. And from those two things, those two things were actually the things that helped to raise my consciousness. So after that, I just began taking class after class. And before I knew it, 2007, I became licensed as a spiritual practitioner. And then after that, I began working for the World Ministry of Prayer. And in the World Ministry of Prayer, my job was that I would just sit in my house. It was such a cushy job. I would sit in my house, and they would plug my phone into their phone, and then people from across the country and the world would call me, and I would say, World Ministry of Prayer, and then I would do prayers for people, 6 to 8 hours a day, a couple of days a week. And what I learned from doing that was that everyone is always asking for the same exact prayer. The same exact prayer. After a year or so, I figured that one out. I thought I was praying for sick babies and broken cars and lost jobs, but the reality was every single person was saying, I'm scared. I think God forgot me. That was it. And so I just had to fill in the blank with the truth of who God was and just remind every single person that God is actually holding you. Like, God can't forget you. God's holding you. There's that story about the guy walking, on the beach, and he's like, God, when my life got tough, there's only one set of footsteps. And, they say, like, God says, I was holding you. I like to say, I was on your back. Giving God a piggyback ride. I started teaching at Bodhi when I got here. That was my next step, was I came here and I began teaching at Bodhi, and I did the same thing there. I showed up and I said, how can I serve? I jumped in deep. I jumped in the deep end. And, like when I saw Terry walked in, I was like, oh my gosh, like I helped raise his kids, like those little babies I got to hold when they were just little. And Donna Ruby, and Judy, like we prayed together. We've had history together. It's just a beautiful thing to actually engage in community, not sit on the circumference of it. Like get in deep, man. If this is your place, then invest. So I didn't mean to give a plug for Cityside, but there I am doing what I'm supposed to be doing. So we're going to get into the teaching of Science of Mind now. So what it does. And the best way to look at what it does is to look at the symbol. If anybody has this book, the symbol on the front helps us to understand actually what it does, what this concept does. And the first thing that you'll see is that it has a circle. Now, symbols fail us because they hold wisdom, but they can't hold all the wisdom, right? Because the symbol, and this is my own interpretation of the situation, the symbol is a symbol for God's love. And I loved how Tiffany talked in her song about, like, there's the circle and then there's the straight line. She was just laying it out for us. She was doing the pre-work for us. There's a circle, and the circle is God's love. And in God's love, the reason that the symbol fails us is because there is no circumference to God's love, right? There's no way that God's love can be contained in a circle. But nevertheless, we're using this as a teaching tool today. And then what we have next is the linear lines. So the linear lines are the law. So one is God's love, the other is God's law. The love and the law. These are the two things that are working together for our highest and greatest good. And if we understand the love and the law, we can understand how it works. So I'm going to recommend you get a table up here. or a box. Maybe, see that? Boom! And then thank you so much, I really appreciate it. It's going to be awkward if I'm like standing here the whole time like, this is my Bible. Put your hand on your book. No. That'll do. Thank you so much, Sean. That's perfect. So the other thing that we have in the symbol is the funnel. The funnel represents you. And the funnel is a channel. We think that we're here to be to get our good, but we're actually here to channel the good of God that flows to everyone equally in all measures. That's the optimal idea of how to use this symbol. So the idea is that love, the circle, is God's heart. and that heart lives within each of us. And law is God's logic. That's up here. And the logic and the love together can help you speak your word impeccably. The word is first cause. So both these energies need to be in harmony. They're not always in harmony. Many of us lean towards love, many of us lean towards law. I met someone this morning who was totally into law, and we had a good laugh because he told me what he was into, and I was like, yeah, that's not me. So these are the examples of extreme love and extreme law sitting on either side of the seesaw, and the idea is to help us bring back to the center. So extreme love is like you don't know what time it is. You don't even know how to tell the time on the clock. You know, you don't really keep your dates. Sometimes you miss things. Details are not your thing. You don't really know your left from your right. This is not to put anyone down. You don't know your left from your right. You know, it's just not a detail that you find interesting. You know, just go over here to the tree or go over there to the candy store. Like, you don't really have to live by the laws of detail. You rely too much on your intuition. You jump into things very quickly, and you have bad boundaries. So that's the extreme of love. The extreme of law is that you're very structured. You love your date book. You're all about the numbers, and you're all about the statistics, and you're all about, the mechanics, and you're all about the structure. So those people who lean too far into the law could benefit from a little love. Those people who lean too far into the love could benefit from a little law. I could benefit from a little law. When I came here this morning, just last night, I wrote out my talk, and I was like, I should listen to Reverend Amy's talk, yesterday, to see what she had to say. And she's like, and I'm going to do the first two. And I was like, what? I thought I was doing the second one. Because I didn't pay attention to the details. That's who I am. I'm not about the details. So I have to work on that. That's what I have to work on. You know what you have to work on in order to get yourself back to balance. So the love is a circle. The law is the linear. And the way it works is seed, soil, plant. And we all have heard that before, seed, soil, plant. So the concepts or the intentions, you worked last week with the vision boards and doing visioning, it comes through that funnel. It moves through the individualized aspects of the law, which is you and your consciousness, and then it moves through the soil, and then it outpictures the fruit. That's how it works. So we have the ability to work the process from either love or law. So we tend to look at things in one way or the other. Ernest Holmes, when he died, he said, I wish I had paid attention more to the love. He was all about the law. Now, what I know about that, there's no mistakes, because we actually needed the law to help us understand the love. So the container almost has to come first in order for us to work with the concepts. But he did say, I wish I had really worked on the love a little bit more, but he also said, this philosophy is open at the top, so make of it your own. Know that I got you this far, but I still want you to continue to work and play with this concept. So we can process this in two different perspectives. If we focus on the law, we'll get one way, we'll go one way. If we focus on the love, we'll go another way. And what I'm going to suggest to you is that at this stage of consciousness, we want to pick up where Ernest Holmes left off and lean a bit into the love. And the way that I see it is like when I was in the Catholic Church, sometimes we focus on the wrong thing, and we still think we're doing a good job. There was a heavy focus on the crucifixion and not enough on the resurrection. One day a year, we talked about him getting off the cross. Other than that, it was all about the bloody Jesus on the cross in front of us. That was a heavy focus on the crucifixion. In our community, New Thought, we focus heavily on the manifestation and not on the consciousness. So as Amy was saying earlier, that we think that it's our job to gather the seeds and to figure out what we want, and then we measure the results. The concepts, the seeds, if we worked from the place of love, they wouldn't be our intentions, they would be God's concepts. And we would just stay open to God's concepts, and the correct concepts would come through us. And if our soil is in harmony with law, it will outpicture for not just the optimal good of us, but the optimal good of all. So the seeds are not our business. The results are not our business. What is our business? The only thing that's left, the consciousness. We're all responsible for our own consciousness. If you try and gather seeds that are for your, that you want to manifest, but your soil, your consciousness is not in alignment or is toxic, nothing's going to birth for you that's worth anything. And you've had this experience. I've been working the law. I've been working the law. I've been working the law. How come I still got people, places, and things showing up that are bothering the hell out of me? So, we get to look at that. In the law's hands, the first cause looks like intentions. Look at that. There's an I in intentions. In the love's first cause, these ideas are called concepts. Like the Blessed Mother. She didn't say, I'm going to give birth to the baby Jesus. No, she just waited on the concepts of the messenger of love, the angel who came and said, you're going to give birth to the baby Jesus. And she was like, I don't think so. And then it was like, no, we got it. Don't worry. We'll figure out the details. Because the thing is, when you wait on God's plan, it comes in really strange disguises. It comes in all of these interesting ways that we would not choose for ourselves. But if we allow ourselves to trust the concepts of God, even if they show up in really strange disguises, we can develop the consciousness that says, I will be damned if I'm not blessed by this. You understand what I'm saying? Yeah. And that sentence really makes sense if you break it down. I'll be damned if I don't allow myself to be blessed by this. So I'm the one in charge of deciding whether or not I'm going to be blessed by this. If I'm blessed by it, it's because God has a reason and a season for me to be in this experience right now, to condition me, to ordain me for the moments ahead. And all of these things are the things that are going to rub me the wrong way, but that's only because the ego is being polished. The thing that gets polished off is not God. You can't shake God from you. The only thing that can be polished is ego and your own fear and limited thoughts. So if it feels agitating, lean into it. Let yourself be set on fire. Anything that can burn will burn. What's left is God. So can I get an amen? So love will slip in interesting disguises. Don't deny the gifts of God's love, even if they come in these strange disguises. There's an intelligence in God's love that knows where you are, who you are, and who you're here to be. I would have never picked alcoholism. There are many things in my life. I would have never picked divorce. I would have never picked cancer. All of these things walked in the door on me and surprised me in the midst of my spiritual practices. And I said, how the hell is this happening when I'm doing my vision boards? I don't see this on my vision board. What the hell? How can this be working? I'm doing my vision boards. Burn your vision boards. Throw all those freaking magazines and all the tape out the window. Just for a little while. Just try it another way. Sorry. Or at least shove them under the bed for a little while, okay? God got the message. You don't need to be running into the kitchen saying, God, I'd like this. She's like, I know what you would like, but I got something even better for you. Just sit in the dining room and let me prepare a meal that's sufficient for you. So if I didn't go through alcoholism, think about that. I wouldn't be in that smoky basement. I wouldn't be there to get that book that I needed. That book wouldn't have brought me to agape. It wouldn't have made me feel like I need to invest even more. It wouldn't have taken me to North Hollywood. I wouldn't have taken a class. I wouldn't have gone to Bodhi. I wouldn't be here right now if I didn't have alcoholism. That's a part of me. That's just one part of me. That's one thread in the tapestry of my spiritual well-being that I can turn over to the Holy Spirit and allow it to use whatever it is for the highest good of all. It's no longer about what Maureen wants. Maureen has been chasing her tail for far too long, gathering breadcrumbs, when God's like, I got a banquet for you, girl, and it's not just about you. And I'm like, well, I don't know if I'm going to show up to that if it's not just about me. But we do, because we're just not that dumb. So I've been blessed by all of it. I've been blessed by all of it. You have been blessed by every single rape, every single bitch smack, everything that has happened, you have been blessed by. And if you haven't been blessed by it yet, demand that you be blessed by it. Make that demand on your higher power today and let it reinterpret for you the story that you've been telling everyone so that you can move forward unhinged to the brokenness of your being and now on fire with the potential and possibility of Christ's consciousness that lives within you and is seeking an expression through you. The most holy thing that we can be is helpful. That's it. The most holy thing that we can be is helpful. The ego doesn't want to know about that. It doesn't want to know about volunteer work. It doesn't want to know about coming and singing your songs for the highest good of all. It wants to check out what the numbers are, how many followers, how many people in the seats. Enough. It's exhausting us when God is right here all the time. So we're going to save the seeds for the divine, and because they only conjure up from past ideas. I can only press seeds into God's palms from the good that I know. I don't want to regurgitate my little plans. I want to know a greater good, and the only way I can know that is if I let go of my little plans and let the bigness of God come for me. Amen, Auntie. And I don't want to start to look at the results. It's none of my business what the results are. Am I seeing God or not? The only thing I'm responsible for is the consciousness. That's the only thing I have jurisdiction over is the consciousness. To heal my holy soil. How do we do that? More interesting question. We pray, we meditate, we forgive everyone, everything, all the time. We work in humility. I was allergic to that word. You know, when I went into the 12 steps, they talked about humility, and I'm like, I'm going to put that to the side for now because I got other things to do. Humility, to me, sounded like something of sacrifice. But humility is tucking our chin and bowing our heads to the divinity of God. You know, so why wouldn't I want to play big for God and let myself, my small self, slip away? So humility, harmony with all things, and acts of service. And those are the things that can promote healthier consciousness. The things that we want to erase from our diet is blaming anyone for anything ever. You know, if you're pointing the finger at someone, they're your teacher. Get on your knees and thank them for showing you something within yourself that you don't want to heal. That's all that is. Somebody is holding a mirror up to you and saying, this is what it looks like when you don't go within. You're going without, you're trying to change the chairs on the Titanic, and you're not actually doing your own work. It's so easy to blame and shame other people. Been there, done that. Aren't we kind of tired of it? When something so much more interesting lives on the internal landscape of our being, it'd be much more interesting if we showed up to our inner selves. So we care for the consciousness, and God will care for the seeds. And God will care for the outpicturing, because God loves you. God loves you. You don't have to usurp God. You don't have to push God out of the way. You don't have to get your own. I was a Jersey girl saying to us, the music is the fluid, the love, the unformed nature of Christ, of God, of Buddha. That's within us. That we want to tap into that fluid nature, that we want to let go of all the linear, logistical ideas just for a bit, just to give ourselves a little bit of a break and move into that heart center and allow that love to flow in ways known and unknown, beyond our knowing, to our highest and greatest good. When the shadows and the stars appear, and there is no one round to dry your tears, I will offer you 1,000,000 years to help you feel my love. Make up your mind today. I know you haven't made your mind up yet. I would never do you wrong. I've known it from the moment that we met. No place in my mind where you belong. I could make you happy, make your dreams come true. There is nothing that I wouldn't do. Go to the ends of the earth for you. you feel my love? You don't need to think about it. We're going to feel God's love. We're going to feel God's love. We're going to trust that Holy Communion. And I give thanks for all of the shifts and all of the awareness that continue to inform us as we move forward in our own specific ministries that are calling us by name, that we step into it, that we know how it works. And now instead of being worked by it and instead of working it, we play in it. We play in it like happy, loving children of a well-informed and compassionate and benevolent divine. It's easy. It's easier than you think. It's about feeling. So I just give thanks for all of this. I release these intentions into the powerful energy of God's love, who says, yes, my beloved. Yes, 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 yes. Amen.
I so appreciate you, Maureen. We were just talking the other day about how she started singing in her talks. I'm like, she's doing it right now. Oh my gosh. It was beautiful. And beautiful tee up. Next Sunday, we're going to talk about service as a sacred path, and we're going to be honoring our volunteers. So your words were really perfect, so thank you. So we are a community-supported organization here at Cityside, and every week we practice conscious giving, which any gifts that you make really go to support the Sunday morning experience. We don't spend a lot of money on other things. And personally, I support Cityside financially because I'm happy to come here on Sunday morning and be reminded of what I believe is true about life, because I think right now it's pretty easy to forget with all the noise out there. And so in a minute, we're going to pass the basket, or you could also text to give. You just text the word give to 312-757-8111. But we have a practice here first where I just want to invite you to turn your attention inward for a moment and just notice what you're grateful for today. What went well this week? Any flow of good in your life, whether it's in the form of financial abundance or just wonderful time with friends, something you're excited about, and just give thanks for that. And I invite you to hold your gift to your heart and join me in speaking our affirmation out loud. Divine love through me blesses and multiplies all that I have, all that I give, all that I receive, and all that I am.
It's like a diamond ring, it's a precious thing, and we never wanna lose it. It's like a favorite song that I love to sing every time that I hear the music. And don't you know, we're in this love together. We got the kind that lasts forever. That's right, Amy. Hey, yes. And don't you know, we're in this love together. It's like berries on the vine. It gets sweeter all the time.
Oh, and so we just give thanks for all the gifts that have been offered, just knowing that we are blessed, knowing that as we give and receive, there is a perfect flow of love and abundance in our lives, and just knowing that Cityside is abundant, knowing that we have all we need to really continue to build this beautiful community. And I'm so grateful for this. And with so much gratitude, I simply say, and so it is.
And so it is. I can't help it. It's El Giro, right? Hey, don't you know? Hi, T.
Good morning, friends. I'm Eric Todd Rushing, and I serve as Sunday Director here at Cityside. And if you're here for the first time, we want to welcome you and thank you for blessing us with your presence. Please stop by the welcome table outside, pick up one of these cards, and fill it out so we could stay connected with you. And every Thursday or Friday, there's an email that goes out, and it says who's going to be speaking on Sunday, if there's any special things going on after service or any educational opportunities coming up. If you don't get that email and you would like to, grab one of these, fill it out, and that will get you on that list. Looking ahead, next week we celebrate our volunteers who help to create this every week. It's going to be a great service. We invite you to come celebrate our volunteers and hear stories of transformation, spiritual deepening, and personal growth through opening up to the act of service. And then the following week on January 26th, Reverend Darrell is back to continue our exploration of the theme, Begin Again. Coming up in January, we have a couple education opportunities. We have a class with Reverend Amy, Meditation is More Than You Think, and a book study with John, and they're going to come and say a few words about those classes.
So who meditates? Okay, a lot of hands. So you might think you don't need to take the class because you already meditate. So here's my invitation to you. This is a really fun class. It's really looking at a bunch of different types of meditation, not just what we conventionally think of as sitting in the stillness. It's really got chanting and walking meditation and lots of other things. And I think that the thing that's beautiful in a class is you get to have this experience with other people. And I believe that we go to a deeper place when we do our practice with other people. So we would just like to invite you to join us. Actually, Jonathan Hoffman is going to be my TA. And it's going to be a lot of fun, so we hope you'll consider it. It's on Wednesday nights.
So the book study is a book by Pema Chodron. This is her first book in 7 years, so I invite you to join us. It's on Monday nights. So the book club is not a class. So this is just where we come together for 1 hour. It's on Zoom. So I like to call it the Barefoot Book Club because you don't have to put your shoes on. You just sit down and join us, and what we'll do is we'll do a quick prayer and meditation, we'll do a check-in, and then we'll talk about the reading that we did that week and how it landed and what we think and how we feel and process through that together. And we may do some other work with the material. That's it. And I'm there to guide and help and maybe ask some prompting questions, but it's really a collective. It's not like a class usually has a leader. This is just a collective consciousness. So I just invite you to be there. And this particular book is advancing some of the wisdom that we got from Maureen today, where we're really working in moving through what is happening in our lives and what we see going on. A couple of the chapter titles, just to share and give you a little, tickler, is the practice of open awareness, experiencing oneness, imagine a life without ego, welcoming the unwelcome with laughter. So, and that's really what it is. So I hope you can come and join us. It's really easy. It's 1 hour. Just kick your shoes off, log in, and let's have some fun.
And you can find the links to those sign-ups on the website or in the weekly email. Stick around today after service, 11:45. Betty Giannopoulos is going to lead the happiness meditation. That'll happen in here. And I want to thank everyone who helped today, all our volunteers. I forgot to write everyone's name down, but I want you to know that I so appreciate people who give of their time and their energy to create this every Sunday. You really spoke to my heart today, and I want those who helped to know how grateful I am for the presence. So don't leave with anything heavy on your heart. Join me at the prayer table. A practitioner will be there to walk you through the prayer experience, or you can fill out a prayer request form, and our practitioners will pray over that request for 2 weeks. And we want you to stick around and have a good time and meet someone you don't know and laugh, and we just ask that you make your way into the hallway to do that so we can transition this room for prayer. Thanks so much.
Thank you, Eric Todd. We love you. All right, everybody. You can't sit in your chairs again. It's time. We got to stretch it out, move your body. Because no matter what you're going through, there's hope, my friends. Back when I had a little, I thought that I needed a lot. A little was overrated, but a lot was a little too complicated. See, zero didn't satisfy me, a million didn't make me happy. That's when I learned the lesson that it's all about your perceptions. Hey, are you a popper or a superstar? So you act, so you feel, so you are. It ain't about the size of your car, it's about the size of the faith in your heart. There's hope. It doesn't cost a thing to smile. You don't have to pay to laugh. You better thank God for that. There's hope. There's hope. It doesn't cost a thing to smile. You don't have to pay to laugh. You better thank God for that. There's off in the back country of Brazil, I met a young brother that made me feel that I could accomplish anything. You see, just like me, he wanted to sing. He had no windows and no doors. He lived a simple life and was extremely poor. On top of all that, he had no eyesight, but that didn't keep him from seeing the light. He said, "What's it like in the USA?" All I did was complain. He said, "Living here is paradise." He told me paradise is in your mind, and I said, "There's hope. It doesn't cost a thing to smile. You don't have to pay to laugh. You better thank God for that. There's hope." What? It doesn't cost a thing to smile. You don't have to pay to laugh. You better thank God for that. We're gonna keep singing that. I said, there's hope. What? It doesn't cost a thing to smile. You don't have to pay to laugh. You better thank God for that. One more time. There's hope. It doesn't cost a thing to smile. You don't have to pay to laugh. You better thank God for that. Have a beautiful Sunday, a week, a year, a month, an hour. Thank you, Cityside.